Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel once again for a brand new League Racing highlights video. Here today we have got the British Grand Prix round 2 for season 1 of the RaceTech Teams Championship. But before we get into that, we're going to take a quick look at the team standings at the moment, being a teams championship. So as you can see on the screen, we have got the standings here right now. As you can see, Ferrari Esports leading the way, closely followed by the likes of Tatum RaceTech, Shizou Cedars and Thomas Enger Racing, all separated by only 10 points, those 4 teams. So yeah, super close at the top. Obviously it's early days, and these things are going to be evolving throughout the season. We're a little bit further down with TF10 at the moment, only sitting at P7, but yeah, we're only 8 points behind the likes of Veloce Academy, 1 point behind FVR, so there's still plenty to fight for here to try and get ourselves up into that top 5 throughout the season. But yeah, without further ado guys, we're going to jump straight into Q1 here, and as you can see, it is torrential rain here in Silverstone. We're going to be going only for our last lap in Q1, purely because I didn't record any of the session apart from the last lap. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that, but what I will tell you is that it's dried up significantly, so this is basically the lap that counts, so you're not really missing out on anything. Just under a minute to go, 45 seconds to go in the session here, and we've got an absolute traffic jam in the last sector here to start a lap. Everyone backing up from the front here. As you can see, Nicholas Longo's had enough. He's weaving through the traffic here to try and get his lap started. We've overtaken this fan as well, and as you can see, the clock is ticking down. 20 seconds to go, and we're not even into the last corner yet. So yeah, we're getting a little bit worried as everyone's not really going yet. Now they're stepping on the throttle. We're trying to leave ourselves a gap, but also actually get a lap in. We need to get this lap in. 4 seconds to go, we start our lap, and as you can see, that Mercedes, as they crossed the line, didn't actually make the line here. That's how close it was. But yeah, now we are focused on our lap. We have to get this lap in, but we're going to be picking up dirty air. We're going to be picking up slipstream as well. But we are definitely in suboptimal conditions here. But it definitely could be a lot worse. Look at the state of the 3-car train in front of us. That is not going to be very nice with the dirty air on this game. Yeah, heading towards the end of Sector 1, we are 8 tenths up on our previous lap. But so you can see how much the track is evolving here in Silverstone. Despite the rain still firmly coming down, this is the lap that matters. And as you can see, heading through the mid part of Sector 2, we are catching the cars in front, which is great to see that we have the pace to catch them. The concerning thing is our aero efficiency is going to be getting worse and worse as we enter their turbulent air here, heading through the Magnus Beckett's and Chapel section here, heading onto the Hangar Straight. We are really catching these cars. As you can see, Luca Rapace goes to the top. He was the first car on the road, backing everyone up tactically there. Unfortunately, he tactically backed his teammate out of the first part of qualifying, unfortunately for Veloce Academy. But heading towards the end of our lap now, focusing on us, we are P12 as we head into the last chicane. We're going a little bit deep, and we are right on the back now of Balint Alekis. I might have butchered his name, so sorry for that. We're P16 for the time being, heading across the line. We are P5 and safely through Q1. So yeah, a little bit of anxiety there starting the lap. A little bit nervous to make the line. We didn't invalidate. We got through the session as we would expect to do, and yeah, hopefully we can have a little bit more of a simpler Q2. Our teammate follows us through into Q2 as well. So great stuff, good start, and yeah, we move on to Q2. As you can see, in a second, it should come up now. Here we are. Coming to the end of our first lap with 10 minutes left in the session, we go to provisional P1. So yeah, feeling good. Get that banker on the board. It won't mean anything towards the end of the session, but yeah, it seems like we have a decent pace today. We haven't practiced the wet at all, so we're actually making our setup and evolving it from lap to lap in the session, which is definitely not the optimal thing to be doing, but it's what we have had to do on that day. But yeah, heading into this lap now, we left ourselves time to do a push strategy here, give ourselves plenty of laps to get used to the conditions for Q3, expecting ourselves to get there. So yeah, heading out onto the Wellington straight here, we are a tenth of a second up, and yeah, looking good for a Q3 entry, hopefully making that step, unlike Mexico last time out. We don't want another repeat of that in an ideal world. So heading out of Luffield here, we are 2.5 tenths up, and yeah, it's all about those incremental gains through the lap. As you can see, everyone's heading out for their last laps now. No one really, apart from our teammate, going for the push strategy. The tyre wear is very, very low due to the amount of water on track. So yeah, I decided it was worth it just to get a good feel of the circuit and the conditions, and make sure we have maximum kind of confidence heading into Q3. As you can see, finishing sector 2, we are over 4 tenths up as we approach Stowe Corner, and yeah, clipping the apex quite late there, getting good rotation, and yeah, looking nice and clean so far through this lap. Flicking the car in there, clipping the apexes, and yeah, pretty uneventful lap, but you know, it's nice and clean. Heading through the last corner here, and we go to P2 in the standings, just under half a tenth off Angelo Di Altenzio's provisional pole time. But as you can see here, as we go to start our final lap, we have run out of time here in qualifying. We slightly misjudged the amount of time we needed to do that push, and now it's very, very worrying times here. The track is evolving all the time. The times will be improving, so we're just crossing our fingers. But as you can see, many cars crossing the line and going slower, and we are safely through Q2 there with a 36.8. Take a note of that lap time, and the others around us for that matter. As we finish our first lap in Q3, we set a 37.1.
It's going to be a great delta.
We had a terrible lap there. We were very, very frustrated, but we still have that as a banker and a nice delta to go up against into our final lap of the session here. We're not going to mistime this one. We've timed this perfectly. 10 seconds to go as we cross the line, and this is it. This is it for our grid position. All of the laps have led up to this, and we are heading almost 2 tenths up before we reach turn 3 here, which is great to see. But as you'll be able to see, unfortunately, we lose a lot of that time heading through that turn 3 and 4 section. I'll say now that through, especially the first couple of corners of that lap, well, the first real couple of corners, turns 3 and 4, we were having some pretty insane frame drops or stutters, whatever you want to call it, and it threw us off massively. I don't know if it was just a matter of a distraction or there was a performance deficit there as well, but whatever it was, it really didn't help us gain much time, and it's lost us about a tenth and a half through that section. But yeah, we're just trying to gain as much time as possible back here as we head into the Maggots, Becketts and Chapel section onto the Hangar Straight. As you can see, we take a little bit too much curb as we head out onto the Hangar Straight, and we lose roughly about a tenth of a second, maybe just under a tenth, which is not ideal at all. But yeah, we're not thinking about that right now. We're just thinking about trying to get a nice last couple of corners, gaining more time through Stowe here, try and hook up a nice chicane as well. We get a nice apex there, 3.5, 4 tenths up as we round the last corner, but we only set a 36.7. As I said, to take note of the time before in Q2, we set a 36.8 in that session. We only improved by half a tenth with a fairly significant chunk of track evolution in Q3. Despite the rain, you know, the track is still improving. And as you'll be able to see, everyone kind of made that 2 to 3 tenth jump, apart from us. You know, some people even improving 4, maybe more tenths from their Q2 lap, and yeah, I put it down to that kind of graphics issue in the first sector, and then that mistake in back. It's really costing us a lot of time. We probably ought to be P2 or P3 on the grid, but yeah, these things happen. It is what it is. We're starting P6 now, and we're going to go for the one stop medium to hard strategy. That's the plan heading into this race, and yeah, we're just going to wait for the lights to come on now for the British Grand Prix. Hopefully we can get a good start. It's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the British Grand Prix. Do we get a good start? Yes, we do. We jump Istvan Pukki straight away off the line and tuck into the slipstream of Bahri Burmand. We give Istvan a little bit of a squeeze through turn 2. Didn't leave him quite enough space, but we both survive to see another day here as we try and go around the outside of Bahri Burmand here, leaving the space on the inside of Istvan as well. And we are up into P5 straight away. And Bahri gets a little bit of a twitch through turn 5 there, maybe through the dirty air. So we're going to be putting him under pressure into the side of sector 2 here, but we have to tuck him behind. And as you'll be able to see with a couple of stray arrows on the right there, Istvan and I believe Gabor Shontos go for their own excursion off the track there. I have no idea what's happened. I've not seen the replay, but it definitely wasn't good for them, and they've dropped a significant amount of positions. As you can see, Istvan is way off the back of the train, and Gabor also falling through the pack. So yeah, we've gained a place, and we've lost a couple of our main rivals, from behind. So for us, that's great. A little bit less pressure, but yeah, it'll be a job to recover for them through the rest of this race. But now focusing back onto us, we are just sort of getting into the rhythm.
Oh my god, he's going so slow.
Not trying to over push this first stint. Even if we weren't saving tyres and stuff like that in an optimal way at the start of the game, as I previously mentioned in Mexico, we still had a little bit of thought towards that in these races. But nothing really happened for the end of for the rest of that stint. We cut on towards the end of it now, on to the start of lap 8. This is basically the earliest lap you're looking to go for the one stop at this circuit. We weren't feeling confident to go for this lap, going by our practice. The percentages we were reaching by the end of the race, it wasn't really looking good for lap 8. I'll spoil it now. We could have easily gone lap 8 in this race, but yeah, it's a risk that I wasn't willing to take, that we hadn't achieved it in practice, but we had more than enough
I think so as well.
kind of buffer to have made that strategy work. But at the time we weren't confident to do it, so it's just a matter of seeing who blinks first in this top 5. We've dropped the train behind, headed by Ryan Bakar. So it's just turning into a bit of a 5-horse race at the moment, up at the front. And who wants to take the risk? We weren't willing to do it, but will any of the 4 cars in front of us jump and go for that aggressive undercut here? We'll go round Stowe Corner here. Scott Holmes jumps into P6, thanks to them dropping off the back of the DRS zone. And Bahri pulls the trigger. He goes for it. His teammate's in P1, so the strategy is clear for them. Get Bahri into the pit, undercut him to the lead, and then have Angelo respond here. But focusing back to us now, we're trying to get back into the DRS zone of the car in front, Nicolas Longuet, as our car has now boxed. We successfully do that, so it'll be just about closing back up to these guys without burning too much battery. And now it's just about what do we want to do? Do we want to react to that undercut of Bahri and inevitably Angelo on this lap, or do we want to extend? Do we want to go for the overcut and try and use a tyre advantage later on to re-overtake those guys? Well, not re-overtake them, but try it and overtake them later.
I think we should start.
We still don't know. Halfway through lap 9, we have no idea what we're doing. We're discussing the strategy all the time, debating overcut versus undercut, and normally like to have an idea of what strategy you're going to do halfway through, what could potentially be your pit lap. You'll be adjusting how much you're pushing, adjusting the battery usage, but as you'll be able to see, about midway down this straight, on the right hand side, we go to select, box this lap. We are going to react to Ferrari. We're going to follow Angelo in. Nico and Luca Rapassa stay out, but we're going to pull the trigger. We're going to go aggressive. We were pulling away from the gap behind, so you know, the thought process was here to try and undercut those guys and go for a potential podium. Worst case scenario, looking at our pace compared to the rest of the field, even if this strategy fails, we'd be falling back to our original position of P5 anyway. Why not take the chance, go for the undercut, and see what happens, and try and tag on to the Ferrari guys here. Let's see if we can get the DRS heading out of the pit lane here. Bari takes the lead, Angelo filters in second, and we just about, as we pass the DRS detection zone, get the DRS for this next straight. So that's absolutely fantastic for our race. We can sort of settle in here, not worry about pushing the tyres or the battery too hard to catch these guys, and yeah, moving on now to lap 11. I should say, before anyone jumps in the comments about the pit exit, you are allowed to cut the pit lane in this league, so don't worry about that. Angelo decided not to cut it, I don't know why, but as you can see, speaking of Angelo, he takes the provisional lead of the Grand Prix. Bari lets him go just so he can manage his tyres a bit. Obviously he's gone the earliest of everyone, so he's going to be doing his best to sort of recoup the tyres, the tyre deficit that he has. But yeah, skipping on to the end of lap 12 here, you can see in the pit lane is Luca Rapassa and Nicholas Longe. They've committed to the overcut. They've gone as long as they can to try and give themselves a good chance of breaking back into this podium fight later on in this race. Obviously we're going to get a big undercut now of a few seconds, but as you know, the bigger the undercut, the bigger the tyre offset that we'll have against them later. But as you can see, as they emerge from the pits, they were actually quite far towards the end, the back of that second train. But yeah, skipping towards the end of lap 13, Luca Rapassa has made quite light work of that train, and is just about to make a move to lead that train towards us now, heading into Stowe Corner. You'll be able to see he'll nab that place off Ryan Bakar. And now, on lap 14, it is just about seeing how quickly he catches, not if, it is just a matter of when. Heading on towards the end of lap 16 here, the gap is just 2.2 seconds, and skipping on one lap more, it is 1.2 seconds. He's taking about a second a lap out of us at the moment. His race pace is looking very, very strong. One saving grace for us at the moment is that Nicholas Longe will not be coming with him. He had a little bit of a problem, be it a screen freeze or a momentary disconnect, because he's fallen way back through the field due to some sort of technical difficulty. So yeah, it's basically us versus Luca for the podium at the moment, and we'll be trying to hold him off, not only for the podium, but we're in a fight with VA at the moment. It obviously is very early days. We don't know who we're going to be fighting in the Teams Championship, but we're more likely to be fighting the likes of VA than Ferrari Esports. But yeah, that doesn't mean we're not going to try on Bari. We're not going to just give up easily. But at the moment, we're focusing on not giving Luca the DRS super easily. We prevent him from getting it in that detection zone. But as we'll emerge onto the hangar straight here, you can quite clearly see he's within a second. So it's time to recharge the battery and get ready for what will be an attack heading on to lap 20 here. This is the first attack. Now we've charged our batteries. We're going to cover the middle of the track heading into turn 3 here. We go a little bit deep, but we cover the middle of the track once again through turn 4. We prevent the switchback. We saw that coming, and now we're going to have to burn our battery in the slipstream of Bari Burmand here to try and prevent this move into Brooklands, as Luca sends the move down the inside, but turns to the outside for Luffield, and we should, as long as we get a decent traction, as we get a little bit of a tank snapper, but we do hold on through that first couple of attacks here. But skipping on to the start of the next lap,
but for you to defend, you have to manage.
We've got a little bit more of a buffer to Luca, but he's starting to burn the battery now, so we're going to have to respond to that. Heading into turn 3, we are able to take our normal line. He's not close enough for a dive here, but what he is close enough is for a dive into turn 4. We leave him the space. It was very late, but we do react in time, but we get a little bit of a tyre hook. Once again, like in round 1 with Cameron and John, we get hooked, and we're going to lose that position because of that once again. And yeah, I can say I was not very happy about that. Naturally, you wouldn't be happy, but because it's happened now 3 times in 2 races, we lose that position because of that. And because of all this battling, Scott Holmes has actually managed to tag on to the back of us, which is great going by him. Fair enough. As you can see, Luca trying to apply the blowtorch onto the back of Barry Burman here. He's desperately trying to get into P2 to have any sort of chance of recharging the battery and having an attack on Angelo onto the last lap of this race. But as you can see, skipping onto the end of lap 24, we're starting to drop Scott Holmes once again. The pace is starting to pick up from the Ferrari guys. They've managed to save their tyres, and heading on to the last lap, we're starting to drop Scott now. You know, we're in no danger of being dropped. We still have a buffer on the tyres, as I was mentioning earlier. We could have gone lap 8 in hindsight, which is a beautiful thing. But yeah, we're just focused on staying close to these guys now. Maybe Luca goes for a last ditch effort on Bari here. Oh, it's on Angelo now. Obviously they've swapped back, as Bari will be the one trying to go for that Drivers' Championship prize. But yeah, we're just going to try and stay close, wait for an opportunity if there is one, and try and obviously be within a penalty window of Luca as well, just in case he gets one for that tyre hook there. But yeah, that's all we can hope for. Try and stay close. We're burning the battery. Obviously, we're going to have a hell of a lot of dirty air here, but if we can just try and hold on through the dirty air, maybe, just maybe, we can get a run towards Stowe Corner. We're going to burn the battery. How much battery does Luca have as we dip under 10%? We dip under 10% basically at an identical point. So yeah, no chances for any last ditch moves for us. We got a little bit wide as well to compound that through Stowe Corner. Our tyres are giving up now, but heading through the last couple of corners, we are going to come home P4 on the track for the British Grand Prix. But fortunately, in the stewards room, we do pick up P3 because of that tyre hurt from Luca. So yeah, it's nice that it worked this time, unlike in Mexico, which was very, very frustrating. But yeah, we're going to pick up our first podium of the season, going from P6 to P3 there. So yeah, a good race all in all. Obviously, it was going to be difficult to try and fight Ferrari 2v1 on similar age tyres. So that's probably the best we could have hoped for in that one. And obviously a big step up from that rough race out in Mexico. Unfortunately, our teammate had another rough race coming home in P18 there. He had a lot of grief on the first few laps, sped into the pit lane, and I think even got damaged later on as well. So yeah, very, very difficult start to the championship for the team's championship. Bit of a curse over the second seat at the moment, but hopefully next time out in Spa, I believe, is the next round, we can have a little bit more luck all around as a team and carry on this improved momentum throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, that's been it, guys, for round 2 of season 1 of RaceTech. I hope you very much enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of that race, and yeah, hopefully more to come of good results for the rest of the season heading into Spa. But yeah, that's been it for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.